Oh, hey friends, welcome to the vibes.
That was so good. That was so
Well, we got a couple interesting picks for you guys today as we explore the vibes, and Darwin's gonna get right into it. I'm not really fond of one of the one of the picks, but we'll get into
good.
it.
We're gonna get there. We're gonna get
What you
there.
got? What you got, bro?
So first of all, honorable mention, Sampha.
Mhm.
I kind of want to honorable mention and then do a callback. He's got a tiny desk, like NPR would be looking out for these tiny desks whenever they drop.
Yeah, Tiny Desk is
And
dope.
ones that we rock with. Um, uh, Sampha is on there, and I think it recently dropped. He's an amazing artist. We actually had his album featured on one of our posts like back in October, like late October.
Mhm.
So that album is called La High. It's an amazing album. It's one of the ones that if people really respect music would be like in the contention for like
Yeah.
album of the year kind of thing.
Mhm.
But if I can get spit, what can I say?
Yeah, yeah.
But the album is dope. And then so you listen to the album and you go see him perform it live on the tiny desk. So shout out to him for that. And of course I watched it and I loved it and it was a great performance. His band is great chemistry. I highly recommend a chance to vibe out on some Sampha a tiny desk there.
But you know one thing real quick I want to mention though, bro, is like because I'm looking at even some of the people that he worked with, Kendrick Lamar, Drake, Frank Ocean, Jesse Ware, Travis Scott, Kanye, Solange. I mean, these are people that have very large fan bases. So I think at least those folks who listen to those artists would at least give this guy, you know what I'm saying, give this guy a spin. Yeah. So we might have to be maybe a little bit lenient to some folks.
Right.
So
But he's a UK artist, and they got a lot of good music coming out the UK.
yeah,
I like the energy coming out of there, but the freaking great album.
a
I
lot of
definitely
talent coming out
recommend
there.
checking out Spirit 2.0. That's actually the track that I did another post on and I put that as a background track for that. So that album was dope. And go check out the Tiny Desk for that one again. So definitely what's on the radar though for the vibe. So remember, part of how we're judging the vibe, how we're doing what's on the vibe, what I say is I think you should at least watch it. Not everything is gonna be an Emmy, not everything's gonna be a Grammy, because so we do put some shows and some movies and slide them in there a couple times. Jon Batiste, who won Album of the Year in 2022, made a documentary about this, right? He won that Grammy album, and so he's. Oh, by the way, Jon Batiste is the the Late Show with Stephen Colbert. He's the band leader there, and also we featured his album on our the vibes before.
Yeah, we did.
So man, he puts out good music, great work. He
very
is
talented.
One of these artists, like he's an artist with it, right? This isn't somebody who just went to you have somebody that goes to a sip and paint and paints a picture at the sip and paint. And somebody who's an artist, okay? This dude is an artist, like an artiste, like for real. Like he does this, right? And he's trying to, in this documentary, it culminates in him performing at Carnegie Hall. And what he's trying to get out is that there's a new kind of symphony. It's not all this stuffed shirts, just, strings. If America had to invent the symphony and become like what is the staple of 200 years from now, 300 years from now, when you go to the symphony, what would that sound be like? Would it still be Bach and Beethoven? Is that what we play at these symphonies? No,
probably not.
Or can we create the sounds that we are now and have them be the dominant that lasts and stands the time over this other idea with symphony? Because even before symphonies came around, people were probably making music with the different ways, and that was like the height of music and the height of composing different sounds together. That happens somewhere in some remote area of Africa, somewhere like that. So that could be that, but he's trying to redefine what the symphony is and an American with the American stamp on that. Now, here's what the critics. I've read a couple reviews on I don't have this thing up real quick. I read a couple reviews for Jon Batiste documentary. It's, by the way, on Netflix, right? So if you got that subscription, you know, you can check that out there. Yep. I watched it, and I'm reading some of these critics. You know, like when we go to Rotten Tomatoes, we telling y'all don't just trust one review. You know, it's best to, like, you put a bunch of them together and kind of see where the pendulum kind of, like, the scale kind of lands, right? It's 94% on Rotten Tomatoes. Okay, if you say so, and 82% is the audience score. Yeah. I'm reading the critics, and if you read, like, and so there's difference, of course. You read the critic review versus the audience review, and you got these critics saying, "Well, some of the backstage material has." Oh man, I clicked the damn thing. It took me out to the website. Has an official feel. Documentary does not shy from showing private moments. That's kind of like bland, but, like, you give it 5 stars, right? Yep. This other critic, both Batiste and Joad, put their faith, I think that's the name of his wife, his spouse, and trust in Heinemann, the director, and the result is a candid testament to an unconditional love that's threatened by. You know, I won't spoil what's going on. It's not much of a spoil, documentary, because it should be real life. She has cancer, right? But defined by one remarkable couple's commitment to get through it together. So it's a really tugging at the heartstrings thing, because he's like, struggling to, you know, and they started off, like, you know, the announcement that, you know, she won this Grammy, you know, or she's been nominated for it, right? And then to him winning it. Meanwhile, she's going through cancer and chemo,
toughest battle of her life. Yeah,
toughest battle. And so
I can see that paradox. Dang, that's crazy.
And so, you know, there's moments where she's like really struggling in her health, and they show all this, you know. And so, and then while he's on the road, like, should I drop everything and come there now? And so they're really like, but I feel, I don't know if it was his delivery, if he was too focused on being on camera rather than some moments didn't feel. Some moments scripted, dog.
Okay.
Some moments feel restricted, and, like, I know what y'all was going for.
Yeah.
But, like, it felt a little inauthentic, you know. And that she's authentically sick, you know. I get that, but some of his lines was just a little too polished, dog. When he had his response to her in certain situations, or his response to the camera, or to the, you know, to the people that he's working around, it seemed a little premeditated, kind of like sometimes, though, you know, the heart was. Sometimes the heart was there, but then other times it felt like, bro, it feels commercial.
What if he was that nice with it, man?
No, if it was that nice, I wouldn't be able to see through it like that.
Yeah, true.
I wouldn't be able to see through it like that. But if some of it is like took me out,
but
like,
it definitely looked like it was.
But it got these fools. It got these fools 94%, 82%. Like, I'm sorry for that lady, but, like. This, and as far, and this is one of those things that's just, it's so, like, industry, like, focused. It's so industry focused that's gonna be nominated.
Yep.
For an Emmy or an Oscar or something, like Oscar for best documentary. It's gonna be nominated. It's just, so they're just playing to that audience of those people, those judges. That's all that it is for. And it's like, if you're really playing for the people that, like, interested in your story coming up, you know, in this musical family where everybody's in the band. Yeah. And then you're like, should I be in the band or go to college? I'm gonna go to college. Guess what college he goes to? Juilliard. Come on. Of course. You know, you're still like, in the music, you're still doing everything. So it's like, but still, like, you could have allowed a little bit more heart in that. And I think whoever did the final editing, or whoever did whoever his acting coach, I still understand. Yeah, you can still use an acting coach, even though it's a documentary. So you have to deliver your line, deliver the things that you want to say, to be a little bit more coherent, and to be a little bit more, to show the sincerity of what you're trying to convey. Sure. That which I did there was a little too heavy-handed. Y'all took a lot of heart out of the documentary. But I think you should watch it. I think you should at least watch it. You know what I mean? If maybe it's my cynical black heart. Maybe it's me. You know?
Just a little bit, man, because you're not really selling it. Because I'm like, should I watch it? I'm thinking
I think you should
like,
watch it. I think you should watch it. It could be me. I'm so cynical that it took me out of it sometimes. And other people like it, so give it a chance.
You know what I think it also is? I think it's also like, I think a lot of people probably had the same reaction that you had, or they noticed the same thing, but they just took it with a grain of salt. They were like, it's
they took a huge grain of salt, my
instead
guy.
of you going whole,
that's your sodium intake for
you took a whole different.
And I'm like, bro, I see, but that's the thing about me. Like when I'm listening to music, I listen like beneath the music, around the music. You know what I mean? I don't just like listen, just take what they're giving me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like that. Or when I'm watching movies, you know what I mean? Like I'm like, why did they do that camera angle? You know what I mean? Or why did they hold that shot that long, kind of thing?
Yeah.
Or you know what I mean?
The dramatic effect.
I look at all that kind of like nuanced stuff, and like, why did he say that line there? Be like, oh, this happened in Act 1, but it's like really not really. It's there's a plot hole here, not a twist. But like sometimes I do a plot twist, but like sometimes like there's straight up a hole that you guys didn't like you forgot about that, like but other people are just like, I'm in their universe, I'm in their zone, whatever. I'll just take whatever they give it, however they give it to me. So that's me. I'm a little cynical there. Maybe I overanalyze that joint, right? I have a little bit of a Jeff problem there with the overanalyzing that bit. What up, fam? It's Darwin, the guy that was just talking. First off, thanks for watching and supporting the show. But I got to give y'all some homework. Your challenge, if you choose to accept it, is to interact with the show. That means 1, hitting that like button, because I know you like our stuff. 2, make sure you subscribe, so we can swim our way up your timeline whenever we drop new content. The third thing, please share the channel with your friends. Maybe they'll learn a thing about a thing or two. Oh, last thing, we're over here talking about what y'all talking about. So go ahead and carry that conversation on into the comments. We be up in there too. The documentary is about this album that he won the Grammy for last time. So that's kind of like looking backwards, and right now I'm looking backwards on some music on my next music artist up, your boy Lupe Fiasco, and how the reason how I got back to listen to the album is actually what I want to talk about, is not what I'm going to talk about right now. This is the album from 2015, but like what put me on him was like listening to Andre's album, who, by the way, I think we found out that his first week release, he outsold, in real copies and in streaming, like all these other rappers that came out there. I told you, Meek and Ross, bro. I told y'all, man. Like you should pull it.
Bro, but this is going gas him so much.
And now that's even more numbers because Lupe is like So yo,
it's gonna gas 3K so much, bro.
You haven't heard this yet, right?
Okay. No, I haven't. No.
Okay, so here you go. Okay, go.
Yeah, this guy Lupe doing Lupe things.
Yo, so what put me on is this. You hear that? Y'all hear that? That's Andre. That's Andre's Flute album.
Oh my god.
Last week I was like, yo,
it's getting out of control.
If you're that nice, well, you can rap over this.
You did, you mentioned that. You did mention that.
Lupe said, "Hold my beer."
Lupe just being Lupe.
That boy rapped
it's such a Lupe move, bro. Oh my god. If there's any artist that would rap on it, it would be Lupe.
Oh my god.
It would be Lupe.
The R vehicle with a smaller. I'm trying to win like the 107 caller. I told the masseuse the knees softer. In the tall grass, I get sleepy on the regular. I'm so private, but even here, me and my co-pilot fly the same plane like we competitors. Made my dream girl in an AI editor. The type of one on my forearm like a predator. She hotter than there is no God, but Allah Muhammad is the messenger.
He's doing it. He's got bars for it.
Yeah.
And he even incorporated
trying to be honest. My big problem's a promise. That's why I'm creating on the atomic scale like Robert Oppenheimer.
What is that instrument that dude?
3 hours outside Wisconsin Dells.
It's like some crash bells or some shit.
Yeah. Talking about like cymbals?
Andre's album.
My concerts inspire people to do the impossible. With Mill Chronicles, why build a hospital when you niggas is
I think I know what you're talking about.
I let you tell me what to put my cash on when you hoteps put a mask on.
I build a hospital when you niggas is anti-vax.
Fly with air I breathe, I perceive silence.
You got something to say?
Sugi pottery over pristine, perfectly weaved.
Lupe does apparently.
And Andre had nothing to say about
don't even bother me, but not a Buddha cause I ain't got the modesty. What you miss mentally is how much I catch bodily.
This not even rapping, bro. This is spoken word. This is not rapping.
Okay, what's wrong with that? That's not rapping.
It's a whole different context.
Yo, what you call it said on No Brother album, he said I had you bobbing your head to my whole verse and my verse didn't rhyme. And I had to go back and listen to that joint like, oh snap, he didn't rhyme not one time, but that shit was going.
But it was on an actual beat and metronome, though, yeah. This is elevator music. He rapping too.
That boy Lupe, boy, that one don't miss. So that got me to thinking like, yo, I be forgetting like, first of all, I don't never sleep on Lupe stuff. So every time his work comes out, his albums come out and everything, I rock with it heavy, regardless. But this specifically got me going back to, I think that Tetsuo and Youth album. I think that may be my favorite Lupe album of all of his work.
Like, are you really hip on all his work though, for real, to make that assessment?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I respect it. He's got a lot of because that album with Kick Push that he had, a lot of people say that that's his best album ever.
Okay, but like
it was solid. I ain't gonna lie. When I listened to the whole album, I was like, this one.
Particularly like if you maybe I'm also influenced by him in this too, because like a lot of the stuff and a lot of his early work, he felt like he was like restrained. You know what I mean? He mentions in those albums kind of like when he talks about dumb it down, they want you're speaking too high, dumb it down. That whole song there, he's saying how like everything he's done from before then was kind of like him trying to like actually kind of dumb it down, and he got tired of doing that. You know what I mean? He was kind of start saying like he's getting more and more freedom. So that's why I would say some of his earlier stuff was maybe nice, maybe more commercially acceptable, a lot with a lot more work that's more commercially acceptable, but like it wasn't as an artist. How he like completely felt free to produce and like write and do messages about, right? Even though his stuff was like avant-garde even in that era.
I think honestly, and I think that's interesting. But I think low key, like especially like in the rap game or just even in this type of American economy when it comes to music, you kind of have to earn that right though, to be able to like really like freely express like your art for real. Like people, like you really got to earn that right. So I guess it probably was that.
It's weird that you say it like that because he is resolved. Like I've heard him in interviews. He's resolved that like I can be Lupe because capitalism. And so I had to like kind of embrace capitalism, like really, if you don't embrace the capitalism of it all. And for me, I when it comes to capitalism, I have a problem with runaway capitalism, late stage capitalism, with unregulated capitalism. I don't think like completely free market. That's just me, right? Free market, unfeathered capitalism, which we don't have in this country. People think we do. We don't. There's a lot of regulation. There's a lot of like manipulation. There's a lot of like oligarchy and all that kind of stuff. There's like picking and choosing. That happens in this in our economic structure here. But anyway, so he's like fully aware that he needs some capitalism in order to really get his message out, in order for him to really have be able to have the space to create his art.
It's leverage.
He couldn't. Yeah, is what it is. So you just got to.
It is what it is.
What it is. What it is. So this album Tetsuo Shima is based off of a character from the Japanese manga series Akira.
I knew it was Japanese.
Right. Yeah. And like I said, I think this album is a work of art. He not only is the album work of art, it's from the very essence of the album cover. It's literally a work of art. He painted that. Lupe painted that. Lupe is also a painter.
Okay.
Lupe has is a professional painter. He went through
for real.
He went through the proper training and everything, his apprenticeship and all of that. He did an apprenticeship to learn and style and how to actually paint and like
that's impressive.
Learn his voice and everything.
Impressive. I gotta give him props.
He painted that album, and he also painted the album that came out, I think in 2018, a Drill Music in Zion, right? And that music has all kinds, and his albums have layers upon layers upon layers.
Yeah.
This album cover, actually, it's so the cover is a work of art itself. It's an art piece. It's literally an art piece. It's titled Uomo Mangiato Tigre. That means man-eating tiger. And so you kind of have to, it's quite abstract, man-eating tiger. So you kind of have to like wonder, is he saying there a man eating a tiger? Or is it a man-eating tiger? Right? That kind of like a double entendre almost there, right?
Yeah.
And when you look at the painting, he kind of points out where you could kind of see where it would be this gruesome activity happening, whether it's the man that's eating a tiger, man eating tiger, like a headline on the New York Times. Man eats tiger, man eating tiger. Or if it's this human being who's been consumed by this wild beast or whatever, right? When I tell you he's a professional painter, like, again, apprenticeship and everything, this painting is actually worth $250,000.
Oh, so it's legit.
And he hasn't sold it. He knows this is because he got offered that for that painting. He's had exhibitions before with his work on display in like galleries and
Lupe Fiasco.
Lupe.
Wow, that's impressive.
Lupe Fiasco taught a class at MIT.
Yeah, I saw it. Actually, it's on YouTube.
So like
on YouTube. Yep.
So yeah, that boy Lupe is out here on a different plane than the
facts.
rest of us.
Facts.
And he comes down on occasion to tease and mess with us. And mess with us, right? That's what he does.
Sure.
Right? That's why he came down to give you these bars on Andre's Flute album. And he can do that. Because like you said, that's so Lupe.
It is. It's a very Lupe.
Oh, you like that? You like that, didn't you? Well, for more clips, click here.
Absolutely, and for the full show, click here.
I can't even see your hand.
Oh, crap.